Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a really cool space type animation inside of Photovibrance. Cool, so what I'm going to do is just go back from the start. So just go out of here, and I'm just going to grab my image. Alright, so I'm just going to go into 3D parallax, and I'll make this an original size like so. And underneath this video, you'll be able to download this exact same image so you can follow along with me and create this animation. So I'm just going to go over here. Now what I need to do is cut out this earth or globe part. So what I'm going to do is just go around kind of the atmosphere around here. So just quickly click around here. And this one's a really easy one to cut out because it's got a black type background and there's stars. It's really not too much to do here. So once we've got this, we can just give it a name. Let's call this one Earth, like this, and click on next. Now what we need to do is basically add those stars and fill in this kind of black part here. So I'm going to start cloning, and I'm going to bring this up to maybe 90 or so, and hold down Control on my keyboard to make a selection, and left click, and then just simply drag out like so. You can left click around, maybe around here, and then just move it around and just fill in this background with stars. So yeah, it's good to make like certain multiple selections. So you simply, click here with Control to select that part. You can see that this the green circle is where it's making the selection, and where my mouse cursor is where it's placing that selection. So you can just simply fill it in like so. And yeah, that's basically done now. So that looks really good. We've got our stars there like so. And now I'm going to go to the next step, and we can begin animating. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is just position the Earth maybe around about the 5 second type mark, and this is my layers panel. So whatever is closest to basically the layers over here will be closest to the camera. So you can see it's really zoomed in like now, so it doesn't look very good. So what we want to do is basically bring it out to about maybe that position, and you have to see when I move it, now it's like moving in a nice kind of perspective. So what I'm going to do is go to reset camera. And then what I'm going to do is also grab another image. So I'm going to click on the image over here, and also this image I'll link underneath this video so you can go grab it. But you can basically get any image of like a moon or a planet, and just as long as it's got a dark background, because we're going to use the blend modes to basically blend it into the background. So over here with this image selected, and if I go over to blending and go to screen, you can see now that it removes the black parts of that image, and now we can basically position this behind the Earth layer, and you have to see that now it's looking really good. It's behind there like so. Now one of the things we want to do with this Earth one is we want to basically select it. So click over here with layers selected, click on your Earth, and then you'll see the blur radius. So I just want to bump this up quite high, maybe about 80 or 100. Actually, I might bring it up a bit more, actually, like so. And I'm going to position this slightly higher. I'll just simply bring it down like so, like this. Okay, cool. Cool, so what we want to do now is also I'm going to go into the objects library, and I'm going to search for people. And you could go, if you've got any kind of PNG cutouts, you can go grab one. I've got one, I'm going to use this one here. You could use also if you've got like an astronaut or something like that, that could look quite cool. So you can give it a name as well, of course, one person, like this. And I'm just going to position this guy down here. And also, I want to make sure that it's, over on the left side of the Earth, because if I put it behind the Earth, you'll be able to see now it's sorted below the Earth. So I want to bring it maybe around about here, so it's quite close to the camera. So it's going to zoom in, it's going to first see the person, then we're going to see the Earth, then we're going to go back over here. So if I just show you, I'm also going to go actually add some text. Let's just type in Photovibrance. And you could go through and add, whatever text you want. I'm going to go with the text font Oswald for this one, and I'm going to also bring up the letter spacing, and I'm just going to make it a lot smaller because it's going to be a lot further away, and we're going to zoom into it. So I'm going to bring it up here. I'm also going to add an animation. I'm going to put in a fade in animation, and I'm going to set the duration to about 2.5 seconds, and I'm going to delay it by maybe 3 seconds. You could also manually put like 5 seconds if you want in there. I'm going to say 3 seconds. And that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is position this text now also at the back because we want it to be behind all these other objects. So I'm just going to drag it maybe about here. Let's see what that looks like. Actually, I'm going to put it behind everything actually and put this one slightly closer like that. And yeah, maybe something like that. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is begin animating this. So I'm going to go to the camera. I'm going to select the camera and I'm going to leave the keyframe as it is. So if you've kind of zoomed in, maybe you can reset it. And then what I'm going to do is click on add keyframe. You can also double left click to add a keyframe like that if you want. But I'm going to add a keyframe. I'm going to move the keyframe to about, let's say 7 seconds. And what I'm going to do is just simply zoom in. Okay, so you can either use this selection over here, or you could go and use this zoom over here. I'm also going to keep moving it so that it kind of zooms in over to my text. So just scroll out and bring it in like this. A bit further in, okay, like that. Cool. Now I might actually want to move my text down slightly, so what I'm going to do is go back to layers and I'm going to select my text and just drag it down. Oh, whoops. Let's just put it in front for now just to select it, drag it down slightly, and I'm going to put it back over here. And let's just select that. Okay, I might go back again. So some of these, yeah, some of the time you have to kind of go back and forth and just play around with it to make sure it's in the right position. Okay, something like that. And let's have a look. If I select this keyframe, okay, it's a bit better. I might even actually just make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to go back to layers again, make the text slightly bigger. And if you can't select it, you have to kind of bring it over like so. Maybe out there, and I'll position this again at the back. Let's have a look at this. Okay, cool. So that's looking quite good. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. I can zoom out using the scroll on my mouse to use this like so. And yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and preview that. So I'll click play. And there we go. I've got a really nice space zoom. And because we're using the blend modes on this image, you'll be able to also see some stars that are kind of in a different dimension than the actual background. So it gives it more of a 3D effect. And what we could also do is go to particles. I'll just go back over to layers, go to particles, turn on the particles, and we could go through, I'm going to select maybe this white one here. And I'm going to bring down the size quite a lot. So it's kind of like little stars. And I might bring down the quantity slightly as well, maybe something like 50, and also reduce the opacity and bump up the depth. Okay, so yeah, let's just see what that looks like now. Cool, so that's looking really good, and we could have, you know, some extra text, maybe like bring your image to another dimension. You could add some extra effects. You could even have like an image of like an astronaut, like a PNG one. You could put him in a different, you know, layer dimension, and he could be floating around. Or you can add some effects and play around with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to download the image below and have a go yourself. And yeah, as always, have fun creating.